No. No! Please! I just need more time! You just need to give me more time! Please! This isn't what all I had planned! Please, no! No! You just need to give me more time! No, 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 no!
Everybody, welcome back to the Explain series, and this is going to be part 2 to the Harmony and Horror timeline, which has been a long way coming. My last video was about 3 months ago, so please forgive me, but it's here now, finally. So if you haven't seen part 1 of my Harmony and Horror timeline series, I definitely suggest checking that video out, because I'm basically going to be building off of that video onto this one. And so in this video, I will be covering the entire Harmony and Horror series up until now. So the most recent video that Battington has uploaded is this one right here. And yeah, Battington, if you're watching, thank you for the shout out last time. I very much appreciate it, and honestly, I love your content so much. I just had to make a part 2 to this. I hope you guys enjoy, because this video, as did my last one, these videos take forever. So yeah, I hope you enjoy. So to quickly establish the timeline that I had made in the last video, it went a little bit like this. We had Goodbye Arthur starting off the timeline, then we had Wake Up Bonzo, followed by Henry and P4, then we had Don't Cry Part 2, Ice Cream Man Maintenance Training Video, Henry Part 2, and then finally, I Want a Toy. However, given the most recent videos that Battington has uploaded, and because I only did the first 7 videos in my original video, the timeline has changed very drastically. So while I originally thought that Goodbye Arthur was the first video in our timeline, our actual first video in the timeline is actually Are You Happy? Also known as the Harmony Broadcast Incident of 1982. And the reason we know that this incident happened in 1982 is because at the end of the video, it is clearly stated that this child and this child died in 1982. And the way that we know that this happened in 1982 is because of the 3 people that died in 1982 as a direct cause of the Harmony incident. And to further confirm that the reason that these children died was a direct cause of the broadcast, in episode Rebirth, an officer by the name of Mr. Stewart calls in Martin for questioning.
Well, hello again, Mr. Greywinder. Mr. Stewart, do you know why you're here today? The Harmony Broadcast Incident? No.
And Martin assumes that the reason he's being called in is because of the Harmony incident in 1982. So we are going to get a little bit more into that further along the video, but right now I do want to talk about the video, Are You Happy? In Are You Happy, the first thing we notice is that the company Martin and Arthur own is called M&A Toys, which we can assume means Martin and Arthur Toys. This also confirms that the two own a toy store, not an arcade like I originally stated in my last video. And it turns out that all the animatronics that I thought were animatronics are actually just toys. Alright, so in the video Are You Happy, we have 5 characters in play. Marcus, Andrew, the toy maker, Bonzo, and at the beginning of the video, Marcus says he was having a dream about a man dressed in red with ice cream cones on his head.
I was dreaming about a man dressed in red with ice cream cones on his head. That's ridiculous, Marcus.
Marcus is describing the red demon the best way a child can. As the children are approaching the toy store, we can see 2 posters of the Henry toy, stating that you can take apart and put back together the toy. This directly explains why this happens in this episode. It explains why Martin's child takes apart the Henry doll and states why it won't stop crying. The reason the infant took apart the toy was because that's what it was supposed to do, as seen in commercials and posters. However, the toy that the infant is taking apart is actually its brother, Henry, who's trapped inside the toy, which is why it won't stop crying. Alright, so back to Are You Happy? So before the reveal of the toy maker has created for the children, a warning comes up stating the following. Whatever was aired in the original tape has been redacted from this one. However, the warning states if there is any reminiscence of the original video, to please close your eyes and look away, and as a last resort, pray to God. By the end of the animation, the children are shown what the toy maker has created, what he's done to Bonzo.
I really do hope you enjoy it.
And at the end of the video, we see that the two boys were killed, along with a 21-year-old woman who we can assume was the dead body in the body bag in the video, all suffering horribly gruesome deaths in 1982. With this piece of text, we can now assume that these character descriptions are being written by Martin himself, Martin admitting the accusation that Arthur makes at him in Goodbye Arthur.
Arthur, I told you he got hit by the car. And whose car did it hit? Whose car has a stain on its bumper?
We never really get to see what happens after Bonzo is turned into a possessed toy. What was behind the door that made the children so scared? That is until the latest installment, which dropped October 22nd, 2020. What went wrong? The next piece in our timeline. What went wrong directly follows the events that took place in Are You Happy? The toy maker is in a fit of rage because something with the experiment went wrong, and he blames it on Andrew.
You!
Me?
This is all your fault. You could have had the perfect toy.
The toy maker also reveals that Marcus and Andrew aren't his first test subjects. His experiments have failed time and time again.
Do you have any idea how many I've had to fool to try and try again, only to fail?
We see a satanic star on the forehead of the toy maker, more formally known as the Sigil of Baphomet, which is the official insignia of the Church of Satan. And right before the toy maker punishes Andrew, he sees something in the shadows. The toy maker begs, but it's no use.
Hello to you. You. No. No, please. I just need more time. You just need to give me more time. Please. This isn't what all I had planned. Please, no. You just need to give me more time. No.
Now, it is very unclear whether this is the actual redacted piece of footage that was taken out of the original tape, but honestly, it very much seems like it. That this piece of footage was taken out of the original tape and is the reason for the warning in Are You Happy? Alright, so the next video in our timeline is Rebirth. And like I did in my last video, I will be splitting this video into two parts, Rebirth Part 1 and Rebirth Part 2. In Rebirth Part 1, a police calls Martin into the police station. Martin believes he's called in because of the Harmony broadcast incident of 1982.
Do you know why you're here today? The Harmony broadcast incident? No.
There is also a line that suggests that Martin used to beat his son, further suggesting that the Henry toy is Martin's son.
Does it have anything to do with me and harming my family?
However, the officer's main concern is about the whereabouts of a woman who interned for him, a woman named Amy Wilson.
This is about your intern, Mr. Greywater. The whereabouts of Amy Wilson.
Same woman who died back in 1982, with a description written by Martin himself. Next on our timeline is Good Boy, and we can assume that around 2.5 years have passed since the last video, Rebirth, which happened around the same time as the Harmony incident of 1982. Okay, so you may be asking, why is there a 2-year jump from 1982 to this more recent video, Good Boy? And it is simply because in Wake Up Bonzo, which is dated April 8th, 1985, Wake Up Bonzo happens directly after Good Boy, so it makes a significant jump from our last video in 1982 to April 8th, 1985. And since Good Boy only happens maybe a few days before Wake Up Bonzo, we can assume that the two happen in 1985. And in Good Boy, we can see that Martin has successfully turned Bonzo into a toy that follows his every command, which in Martin's hands is very dangerous. Alright, so real quick before we go any further in our timeline, I do want to do a quick rundown of all the characters that we have as of now. First off, we have Arthur, Martin's brother and co-owner of Harmony Toys. Gloria, Martin's wife and mother to Macy, Henry, and Ava. Macy, Arthur and Martin's daughter, who Martin later turns into Singing Sophia. Henry's real name has yet to be revealed, yet he is the son of Arthur and Gloria, and Henry has been abused by Martin since he was a child. Ava, Martin and Gloria's infant daughter. And Mr. Stewart, police who called Martin in for questioning. The toy maker, only seen in the Harmony broadcast, has worked for the Red Demon, like Martin. Andrew, seen and died from the Harmony broadcast, and the original owner of Bonzo. Marcus, seen and died from the Harmony broadcast, has had visions of the Red Demon. Bonzo, once a dog owned by Andrew, now has been transformed into Martin's right hand. The Red Demon, only seen twice in the series, yet seems to be the face behind all these travesties. Alright, now that you're caught up, we can go further down the timeline. Alright, so next in our timeline is Wake Up Bonzo. Macy is alive and well.
You sure you don't want me to turn off the light? Okay, sweet.
Arthur has placed Bonzo in his daughter's room to protect her, and most importantly, prevent her from leaving. Bonzo's new purpose is being Martin's henchman. But something is wrong with Bonzo. He's becoming sentient, developing a sense of free will and disobedience. We see this in Good Boy, Wake Up Bonzo, and most importantly, Rebirth, where Bonzo has the choice to kill Ava or not. Alright, we'll talk about that video a little bit later in the timeline, but for now let's just focus on the timeline as of now. Alright, so next in our timeline is Henry Part 1. Like I stated earlier, not much has changed with this episode that we already know. It's Christmas and the toy Martin gives his infant is Henry. The infant takes apart his toy because it's what he saw on TV. It is also seen in the posters in Are You Happy? However, the pain of being ripped apart is all being internalized by Martin's neglected son, Henry. Henry is angry and feeling so much pain, yet unable to move. Next in our timeline is Goodbye Arthur. And before we get into it, I do want to implement my own theory on the events that are happening. In Wake Up Bonzo, the toy Bonzo that Martin created goes crazy. However, Martin and Gloria keep this whole incident a secret. But why would Gloria keep this whole mess a secret? Why would she keep the fact that a monster that Martin created has gone mad a secret. Well, if Martin is capable of abusing his own son for misbehaving, he definitely has the means to abuse his wife to make her keep quiet. However, Martin is unstable, losing his sanity more and more every day, and Gloria notices, so the only person she can confide in is Arthur, Martin's brother, and her brother-in-law. The two get close, Gloria telling him the troubles of her marriage, and Martin begins to suspect something else is going on. Then, Gloria finally tells Arthur what Martin did with the dog. And when Arthur refuses to believe her, because no sane person would believe that someone transformed a dog to a lifelike toy, Gloria shows Arthur the dog turned toy hidden in their basement, directly leading to this piece of dialogue in Goodbye Arthur.
I think there's some sort of misunderstanding. Don't act stupid, Mark. The thing nearly killed me last night.
Arthur went into the basement and Bonzo attacked him. And this gives Martin one more reason to kill Arthur. Arthur knows what he did to the dog, something that goes against all morals and beliefs. Arthur has seen the truth, seen the monstrosity Martin has created. And this is why Martin is so surprised that Arthur even knows. He didn't think Gloria would crack and tell his own brother.
I don't understand. Don't play games with me, Mark. I told you to knock it off, but you did it anyway. Arthur, I think there's some sort of misunderstanding. Don't act stupid, Mark.
It's why Martin is so confused at all the correct accusations Arthur is making. Gloria told Arthur everything. And after hearing all these correct accusations, Martin puts two and two together. Martin assumes that a level of trust has begun between Arthur and his wife. So in my last video, I did assume that Arthur and Gloria did have an affair, and that's why Martin killed Arthur, along with the other reasons he had to kill him. However, at this point, I no longer believe that to be the case, because honestly, I sincerely doubt that's what happened, especially with everything that's going on and the traumatic experiences that Gloria has had with Martin. But honestly, it doesn't really matter if they did have an affair or if they didn't. In Martin's eyes, they both betrayed him. They both let him down. So Martin kills Arthur and turns him into the ice cream man.
First the dog would listen to me, then my wife. I think the only thing I've learned through all of this is that I am not going to let anyone let me down, including you!
And our evidence of this is shown in the following video, rest assured. The next video in our timeline. The clown's reflection is shown the entire time, and at this point, we know the clown to be Martin, based off of this scene in Rebirth. And I know a lot of people are saying that Martin is in fact in an insane asylum in this video, but I honestly don't think that's the case. Martin is seen in the reflection of the TV in his clown costume. However, I don't want to rule out that possibility altogether yet, because we honestly don't know what's happening right now. Because he could in fact be in an insane asylum. Because there is another possibility of why we see a clown in the reflection. This is what leads me to my other theory. Whenever he puts on the suit, he doesn't see any of the consequences of his actions. In his mind, the clown did it, not him. So if he were in fact in an insane asylum, we could be seeing this from his perspective, so when he looks in the reflection, he only sees the clown, not himself. But for my theory, I do in fact believe that he's just at home in this video. After killing his brother without wearing the clown suit, thus lacking the ability to disassociate, guilt eats him alive. So what does Martin do to cope with this guilt? He puts on the clown suit and watches a mental rehabilitation video. However, this isn't enough to drown the guilt that Martin continues to drown in. The video is filled with images of Henry, his brother Arthur, now in the ice cream man, his daughter Sophia, who he plans to transform, but hasn't yet. In the final scene, we see that Martin has transformed his brother into the ice cream man. And there's even a clip in Don't Cry that shows Arthur in the Ice Cream Man costume, trying to break free by bashing his head in, which explains why his face is bashed in this scene. So essentially what's going on is that Martin has hidden himself in the basement, completely drowned in guilt, and watches this video as an attempt to get rid of that feeling. Next in our timeline is She Can't Sleep and Don't Cry Part 2. So these two videos actually happen in the same day. A few days after Martin kills Arthur and turns him into the Ice Cream Man, Martin still has revenge to seek upon his wife, Gloria, a woman who has leaked his secrets to his brother, something that they were supposed to keep under wraps. A woman who has violated Martin's trust.
Now, your mom and I are going to be on a business meeting, so mommy might not be back for quite a while. So I'll see you in the morning, okay?
Daddy, can you take me to Hawaii?
Huh? No.
He brings his wife in to the Harmony store for a supposed business meeting. In reality, he just wants to show his wife he's done with Arthur. So Gloria freaks out and runs home to get her children and to run away from Martin for good. However, Bonzo, being Martin's obedient dog, stops the two from leaving until Martin gets home.
Macy. Come out wherever you are. Daddy's got a special surprise for you. Macy! I order you to come here right now!
We hear Henry rushing to the scene and banging on the door to try and stop the transformation. However, by the time Henry breaks open the door, it's too late. His sister has already been turned into the singing Sophia doll using demonic practices.
What are you doing? Get back in your room like I told you to. What do you want? Didn't you hear me? What's the matter with you? You got cotton in your ears? No.
So much anger inside of him, Henry murders his father. In my last video I did believe that Ice Cream Man was the one that killed Martin, but based on these videos it really seems like Henry's the one to do it. Henry's the one to rush to the scene, Henry's the one that's banging on the door, and Henry's just trying to save his sister from becoming something like him, a monster. However, Henry fails. He's still able to exact revenge on his father. February 14th, 1986. For the most part, I did have the end of the timeline correct in my last video, but let's just refresh ourselves. A few months after Martin's death, taking place somewhere between December 25th, 1985, and February 14th, 1986, someone has already taken over the Harmony toy store. An Ice Cream Man, who we now know to be Martin's brother, Arthur, feeds on the flesh of an employee. Following this video is Henry Part 1, dated August 11th, 1986. The spirit lurks outside the store, waiting to enter and bring life to the toys. perhaps seeking revenge or coming to save the lost spirits, like Macy, Henry, Arthur, and Martin's infant child turned demon, Ava. Next in the timeline is I Want a Toy, where the second half of this video is actually the first half and the first half is actually the second half. It's a little confusing, but just bear with me. In the second half of the video, it features Henry thinking to himself about his father, who he's just killed.
You are a bad boy. Can I have one? I want one, so. No.
Reminiscing on the abuse his father brought on to him, having finally gotten rid of him. Then in the second part we see something break free from the Henry doll. A demon. The same demon in Are You Happy? And the same demon that Marcus describes in his dream.
I was dreaming about a man dressed in red with ice cream cones on his head. That's ridiculous, Marcus.
The same demon that killed the toy maker. And now finally, the last episode in our timeline is Broken Windows. In Broken Windows, we see someone being chased by the now possessed toys. However, there is something very interesting here. There are 2 Henry dolls being possessed in this scene. And my theory is that in one of these Henry dolls resides the Red Demon, and in the other resides Henry, Martin's son. Then we see the head of a wolf in darkness, demanding silence. Following, we see the Stitch Buddy toy with writing that is reflected on top, that if you reflect back it just says Stitch Buddy, so nothing crazy here. We proceed to see several disturbing scenes, like the Henry doll, and this man with his face bashed in, who I'm convinced is Arthur, based on him doing this while in the ice cream man. Then we get this weird clip of Sophia. So in this clip, if we reverse the footage and put it at 75% speed, we get something that says this. It seems to be a prayer that Macy is reciting, trapped inside the singing Sophia doll. This entire video strikes me as a glimpse into Martin's afterlife, forever being haunted by the destruction he's caused, trapped in his own personal hell, for all eternity. However, we do have this scene at the very beginning that strikes me as somebody new inside the toy store, trapped in the store, facing off with the demons, the toys possessed, that Martin left behind. Then, in the final scene of the video, it showcases a few of the characters, as if alluding that something is happening, something is coming. Alright, so that is the complete timeline of Harmony and Horror up to date as of today. And I know there's a few things that I didn't mention, like this video called Killer Kenshin, but it clearly states in the description that this is not canon and it's simply just a video to show appreciation to Corey Kenshin. And there's also this holiday special, which is fantastic, so well done. I'm so surprised it's not canon, but it says so in the description. I had to resist not diving deep into it because there's so many things. Like we see Arthur in the flesh, we see Gloria in the flesh. Like we've never seen these characters' faces before. It'd be so easy to just dive into it and ignore the description, but obviously it's not canon, so I won't do that. But overall, it's a great video. I definitely recommend you watching it. Battington did a great job with that holiday special. It's really good, really well done. But yeah, if you want to keep up to date with the Battington timeline, definitely subscribe. Or if you just like creepy videos, I do a bunch of these videos, and yeah, it's a small community, but we are continuing to grow thanks to just all of you joining. And yeah, thank you for your support. I know this video was well overdue, but honestly, yeah, just thank you so much and have a good night. I appreciate you.